Geography is a nation's destiny, but infrastructure is its leverage. In the high stakes Eurasian geopolitics, there is a piece of real estate that behaves less like a standard military base and more like an unsinkable aircraft carrier located in the dead center of the world's most volatile states. We are talking about the Bagram Air Base. For nearly half a century, this single valley north of Kabul has been the ultimate prize for the global empires. The Soviet built it, Afghan regional leaders fought, suffered immense casualties, and sacrificed lives for it, and the United States spent billions transforming it into the nerve center of the Western Hemisphere projection of power. And then, one fine day in July 2021, the United States turned off the lights and left. But if you think Bargam's story ended with America's withdrawal, you are completely misreading the tectonic shifts of modern geopolitics. Today, we analyze why Bagram Air Base remains the most contested, sensitive, and critical piece of military infrastructure in Central Asia and why, in 2026, it is the emerging flashpoint of a quiet, high stake intelligence war between Washington, Beijing, Pakistan, and regional powers. Hi, my name is Shreya, and welcome to our global analytical show, The Strategist. Let's get started. To understand Bagram, you must look past the immediate borders of Afghanistan. In geopolitical analysis, we look at the power projection radius. Bagram sits at an elevation of 1500 meters, surrounded by the tall Hindu Kush mountains. This is not just a defense barrier, it is a geographical vantage point. From this single point, modern military assets can observe, intercept, and strike across multiple threats simultaneously. To the east, less than 200 kilometers away, lies Pakistan, a nuclear-armed state perpetually navigating internal instability and complex proxy dynamics. To the northeast, approximately 500 kilometers away, sits China's highly sensitive Xinjiang region, the western frontier of Beijing's domestic security apparatus and the starting point of its Belt and Road Initiative. To the west, within 800 kilometers striking distance, is Iran, a state actively projecting power across the Middle East and developing long-range ballistic missiles capabilities. Sir Halford Mackinder's heartland theory famously cited that whoever rules the heart of Eurasia commands the world. If Eurasia is the heartland, Bagram is the primary valve. It offers a logistical gateway to Central Asia's energy corridors and a launchpad for signal intelligence that peer directly into the military movements of three nuclear powers: China, Pakistan, and Russia to the north. It is quite literally a land-bound aircraft carrier. And just like an aircraft carrier in the Western Pacific, whoever controls Bagram commands the regional security architect. The strategic value of Bagram isn't just where it is, but it is what is built to do. It is not a rudimentary airstrike. It is a dual runway titan capable of shifting global logistics. The main runway stretches 3,724 meters and is engineered to handle the world's heaviest strategic airlifters, aircraft like Lockheed C-5 Galaxy and C-17 Globemaster III. At its peak, this base housed 40,000 personnel. It features massive maintenance depots, deep ammunition storage, a 50-bed trauma hospital, and advanced hardened intelligence facilities. When the Soviet-Afghan War erupted in 1979, it became the primary hub for the Soviet Air Force, hosting MiG-21s and Su-25 attack jets. Fast forward to the post-9/11 era, and the United States rebuilt and expanded it into a high-tech fortress. It became the launchpad for precision strikes, drone reconnaissance via MQ-9 Reaper, and deep threatened special operations across South and Central Asia. The historical precedence is undeniable. Whenever a global superpower wants to dominate the Eurasian interior, their strategy invariably starts or ends at Bagram. The American departure from Bagram in July 2021 will be studied in military academics for decades, not for its tactical execution, but for its profound strategic consequences. By abandoning the base before the complete evacuation of Kabul, the United States didn't just end its longest war in Afghanistan, it voluntarily handed over its most sophisticated intelligence-gathering asset to the doorsteps of its primary peer competition. In Washington defense circles, this decision remains a deeply polarizing point of disagreement. Senior policymakers and military analysts have openly argued that retaining Bagram, even as an isolated sovereign enclave, would have provided the United States with invaluable leverage. Why? Because the nature of global conflict has evolved. We are no longer in the era of large scale counterinsurgency. We are in the era of great power competition. Without Bagram, the United States must rely on over the horizon capabilities, operating surveillance and strike acid from the Persian Gulf or aircraft carriers in the Indian Ocean. This introduces massive flight times, high fuel cost, and immense dependency on regional airspace permissions. By leaving Bagram, the United States essentially blinded its regional eye, creating a massive security vacuum in the heart of Eurasia. And in geopolitics, a vacuum never remains empty for long. Today, in 2026, Bagram is controlled by the Taliban government. Yet, the base remains the focal point of a complex, multi-layered chess game involving 5 distinct geopolitical vectors. For China, a hostile foreign presence at Bagram is an existential threat to its western flank. Beijing views Bagram through the lens of containment. If a Western power holds the base, they can look directly into Xinjiang, monitor Chinese electronic signatures, and potentially threaten the energy pipelines and transport corridors of the Belt and Road Initiative. While on the other hand, Western planners watch with immense apprehension to see if the Taliban will grant Beijing access to the base high-tech infrastructure for intelligence gathering purposes. For decades, Pakistan has sought strategic depth in Afghanistan to avoid a nightmare scenario. Encirclement by India on its eastern border and a hostile India-aligned regime in its western border. If New Delhi prints even a minor security footprint anywhere near Bagram, Islamabad views it as an immediate threat. The delicate balance keeps the region on a knife's edge. Neither Moscow nor Tehran wants Western forces returning to their backyard. Russia, while on the other hand, views Central Asia as the traditional sphere of influence, and Iran has historically opposed large-scale US deployments on its border. However, neither wants an unstable, extremist control Afghanistan either. Bagram serves as the thermometer measuring the geopolitical fever of all 3 powers. Adding to this tension is the current US President Donald Trump, who has publicly stated that the United States is trying to get Bagram airbase back from the Afghan government. In September 2025, Trump told reporters he was speaking with Afghanistan about regaining control of the base and emphasized that the US should not have left it. He said in March 2025 that he had planned to keep the Bagram airbase not because of Afghanistan but because of China, and later warned Afghanistan that bad things are going to happen if it does not return the Bagram airbase to the United States. Trump stated reasons for wanting Bagram as strategic. Its proximity to China, including its relevance to monitoring Chinese military activity and nuclear missile sites, its value as a counterterrorism foothold against ISIS and other non-state actors, and its potential role as a leverage point in US-China competition. He has also framed the base as essential to restoring US regional presence and intelligence access after the 2021 withdrawal. As we look towards the next decade, how the battle of this infrastructure play out? The first possibility is that Taliban maintains a strict exclusive control, refusing all foreign military access while utilizing the base for domestic stabilization. This would limit the influence of outside powers but keep Afghanistan economically isolated. A second possibility is that economic concessions lead to Chinese or regional assistance in upgrading Bagram under the guise of commercial and trade security. Such a development would grant Beijing significant oversight over Central Asian trade routes, deeply alarming Washington and New Delhi. The third possibility is that cross-border schematics and non-state actors turn Bagram into a perpetual target for regional preemptive strikes. Recent cross-border tensions between Afghanistan and Pakistan indicate that how quickly such a scenario could unfold. The event of March 2026, where Afghan authorities claimed to have hampered a cross-border strike targeting Bagram amid escalating tensions with Pakistan, demonstrated that this installation is not a relic of history. It remains a highly active, highly sensitive lightning rod for regional military friction. Empires rise, fall, and retreat. Doctrine shifts from counterterrorism to near-peer deterrences. But the ground beneath our feet does not change. Bagram Air Base is a monument to the enduring reality of physical geography. It has outlasted the Soviet Union era, weathered 2 decades of American military dominance, and survived the chaotic circles of Afghan civil war. It remains the strategic heart of Central Asia because it offers what money cannot easily buy: position, reach, and the capacity to project power across critical borders of the 21st century. That's it for today's episode of The Strategist. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Until then, I'm Shreya signing off.